Now, we talk a lot here on breakfast about potholes. We all talk about potholes, don't we? All of if you use the roads, you talk about potholes. Because despite various pledges from governments and councils to fix the problem, the RAC says it's actually getting worse.
I think everybody says it's actually getting worse. I mean, we know it's getting worse, don't we? Nina has been looking into this.
Oh, Sally.
Sorry.
She couldn't resist. Everyone's got a pothole tile, haven't they? Yep. And it can be one of those one-off events that really damages the car. Or for a lot of people, it's that daily grind of the same route every day, having to swerve around them. A real downer for lots of motorists. Yeah, good morning. And it can cost a lot of money to get your car fixed because of poorly maintained roads. The RAC surveys drivers every year, and for the very first time, the #1 top concern is, you've guessed it, potholes or the poor state of the roads. Now, these worries come at the moment above high insurance and petrol costs. And in fact, more than a quarter of drivers said that a pothole damaged their car last year, so 27%. And we're talking a range of damage from a burst tyre, a damaged wheel, all the way to broken suspension. Really dangerous. And the damage is not cheap to fix. This report showed that average repair costs are at around £460. Now, you might not know this, but in theory, you can claim compensation from your local council to cover those costs. But as our transport correspondent, Katie Austin, reports, it's not always that easy.
From northern Scotland to Salisbury, from Lancashire to Kent, pictures like these, filmed by BBC reporters around the country, show the extent of Britain's pothole problem. It may not come as a surprise then that when the RAC asked motorists about their top concerns this year, the state of the roads surfaced as #1.
75% of drivers said that they think their local roads have got worse in the last year. Rural roads tend to be worse than urban roads.
So this is the car?
Yes, this is my wife's car, and this is the wheel that struck the pothole, the tyre that was split in the incident, and then the alloy wheel was dented.
And that's not something that could be driven on?
No, unfortunately, after that, the car needed to be repaired and couldn't be driven.
Richard's wife was driving near Cirencester in May last year when she hit that pothole.
And then there's the pothole right there, oncoming Land Rover, and there's no option but to follow the line that she's following.
To avoid the incident hitting his family in the wallet, Richard claimed £189 for the damage from Gloucestershire County Council. They turned it down. Richard persisted and lawyers got involved.
And it's been a very complicated and protracted process, but it was all resolved last week when they conceded that they should pay the claim.
That's more than a year later?
Well over a year, yeah.
The council apologised for the distress caused, adding that it defends claims robustly and fairly to protect the public purse. A spokesperson said new information had led to the case being settled. Different local authorities have their own claims processes. An insurance price comparison website told us many people end up paying for damage out of their own pocket because it's easier.
What they should do is go to the council. Councils are responsible for maintaining roads, therefore they're also responsible for paying out any claims for damage to your vehicle. You could also claim on your insurance, but be wary that could mean that obviously you've got a claim on your policy and you see your insurance premiums go up for at least the next couple of years.
The previous government promised to put £8.3 billion into repairing local roads in England over the coming decade. In a statement, the Department for Transport told us the new government was committed to tackling the poor state of the roads and would support local authorities to fix up to 1 million more potholes a year, but it didn't say how much it would spend. With the finances of local councils stretched, they argue long-term funding certainty is needed to help prevent potholes in the first place. Katie Austin, BBC News.
Well, we spoke to the Local Government Association. That represents local councils. They're the ones responsible for fixing the roads. Now, it told us that councils are facing a huge £16.3 billion backlog of repairs. And they say that limited resources and rising costs mean that local authorities are struggling to keep on top of those repairs. £150 million extra has been given to councils in England for this year and next year already, but it's unclear how much the new government will put in after that. get in touch with your pothole stories this morning. Let us know, actually, if you've contacted your local authority and managed to get some compensation. All the details there. We had a very early email, John and Sally, from Bob and Anne. So they hit a pothole and broke a spring in their car in December. They took pictures, contacted the local county council straight away. But the council said because that road had been checked a few months prior and was fine at that time, that their evidence is a mismatch with those. So you can see why, although theoretically you can claim by a local authority, it gets convoluted, and more often than not, people just give up.
Yeah. Lynn has just been in touch as well this morning. Morning, Lynn. She says that it's also another, even more difficult issue to try and claim if you've been injured. One thing for your vehicle, but for the person, damage to the person, she said it's almost impossible. She broke a leg due to a pothole on a lovely August day, going back from lunch. Then the hole was deemed not deep enough, she says, according to the council, and went through various other bits, but she never got any money from it and says it's just impossible. So, yeah.
Because it's always a big decision whether to claim or not for something, because then you'll see your premium go up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see why people just end up forking out and forgetting about it.
And then if it becomes difficult, it's really quite easy to give up. Too easy, maybe.
Yeah.
Nina, thank you.
I'm sure we'll have many more.
Yes.
As you speak,
Yeah.
Nina, I can see the inbox filling up. We'll see you a bit later.